Hello everyone, I am Adam from Trade with Precision and welcome to Vantage Markets inside the chart. So let's have a look at the dollar index. So first of all, quick recap. We have a look at the monthly here. You can see we are still stuck within this range. We've been here for 6 months and currently it appears, if we go back to the daily, as though we are currently in a downtrend towards the bottom of this range. At this point in time, there's no reason to believe that this won't continue down, and this may still take several more weeks. With that being the case, it makes sense that euro dollar will continue to head to the upside. Something to take into account, though, is, of course, as we head towards the Christmas season, the market is likely to become a little bit less active, maybe a little bit lethargic until the first week of January. But for now, my expectation is to see euro dollar continue to head up to the top of its range. That puts it about the 1.18 area. GBP as well has a very nice uptrend. Yes, it's got some temporary resistance at the moment, but I do think that weaker dollar is going to help push GBP USD to the upside. Aussie dollar also very much sitting towards near old highs, but also very much overextended. So for here, I'm looking for a consolidation before ultimately pushing higher. And again, then Kiwi dollar as well, having a very nice consolidation break higher, but still much more upside potential. And therefore expecting this ultimately to break through resistance and continue higher. Whether that happens this week or not is going to be interesting, simply because it feels kind of as though, from a day trading perspective, as though the markets are getting a little bit more sleepy. Having a look at dollar yen. Dollar yen is very interesting here. The potential for a change of trend is very, very real, but at the same time, the longer term trends for the yen pairs continues to see the yen weaken. So euro yen, pound yen, Aussie yen, CAD yen, Kiwi yen, they're all trending higher. So it is very possible that after a bit of a sideways struggle here, we could very well just see dollar yen head higher as well. Dollar CAD very much overextended to the downside and very much showing that weaker US dollar. We can get rid of this. We've lost that uptrend there. We're now very much in a downtrend. So any kind of pullback here for me would represent selling opportunities. And finally, dollar Swissy here should start to head down towards the bottom of its range, but it's still very much range bound. Let's have a look at the global indices. So here we've got the Dow breaking up towards all-time highs again. We have a look at it from a weekly perspective. This bull trend very much still intact. And again, the only thing that may happen this week is you might start to get a little bit sleepy, meaning just a little bit less smaller moves and possibly a little bit more sideways. But for now, that trend is looking nice and healthy and pretty strong. The S&P here putting in a little bit of a level of resistance. I'm not going to call this a double top yet. I'd need to see a pull down towards the lows to accept this. But what it does appear to be doing is it has lost its uptrend. It's now going sideways, almost range bound. And so for now, yes, it does make more sense that we'll see this possibly head a little bit lower this week. NASDAQ here putting in a lower high, but again, also having been trending up for a while, it looks very much as though it is starting to go sideways. Whether this is going to turn out to be a head and shoulders pattern, it's a little bit too soon to tell. So again, I will say here that I am looking to see the support levels tested and to see if we possibly head a little bit lower. Then having a look at the Russell 2000 as well, which is pulling back from fresh highs as well, back into the lows, but this trend very much intact. So the Dow and the Russell looking quite strong and healthy. Let's have a look at the FTSE. The FTSE encountering a little bit of resistance where it is now. And again, it appears to just be kind of losing its existing trend, which might mean we might see a bit of sideways motion for now. Quick look at the German DAX, which is pushing its way back up to the top. Keeping in mind, please, that this has been in a monthly range for 6 months. Sorry, let's just get that zoomed in so you can see that. But you can see very little happening for the last 6, almost 7 months. But it is still looking pretty strong overall. So it's just up at the top of the range. Not much action to be had there. The Nikkei is starting to slow down a little bit, going sideways. And again, this is all very well. Could just simply be, we normally get a Santa Claus rally. So we normally get a very strong bullish move into New Year's. But in this particular case, the markets could simply just be exhausted. And the Hang Seng as well, also just range bound at this point in time. If we have a little bit of a zoom out, you can see a nice strong uptrend, now just going sideways. Let's move on and have a look at crude oil. So crude oil, to me, maintaining that longer term downtrend, having a look at it here from a monthly perspective. Again, here we could see just a series of lower highs and lower lows continuing to head towards that $55 level. If we then drop down to a weekly time frame, again, we could see lower highs, lower lows, breaking through support here. And then finally, from a daily perspective, we could see that same downtrend very much in play. So yes, there is some buying and some level, a bit of support here around that $57 mark, but the momentum continues to put that pressure on to the downside, and at some point I expect it to break and head lower. Let's have a look at gold. So gold attempting to work its way up to these previous highs. It's going to be very interesting to see how it responds when it connects with that level, if it finds or encounters some strong resistance there. But this trend pretty much intact. The only thing I do want to point out here again, as possibly in the previous video, that I did with you is the spikes above and below here. So there's a real battle here in terms of more range-bound activity as we go. Silver of the two, much healthier trend, and a bit of a pullback here could represent a nice buying opportunity. Definitely some resistance around that 64, almost $65 level. I'm expecting though to see a bullish bar this week and possibly a buying opportunity to see that trend continue to the upside. Apologies for stuttering there. And here, again, this interesting to me, Bitcoin going sideways, starting to break through this trend. So what's happening here is that this is more of a bear flag and a continuation to the downside. So yes, this week, I wouldn't be surprised to see this head back down towards these lows. We'll see if it accelerates or if it's much bigger, but certainly back down towards these lows here. So not showing a huge amount of strength there. And then again, this will be interesting as well if we take in Ethereum, whether it also starts to break below these lows here. We'll start to see that momentum shifting to the downside. So, ladies and gents, there are some opportunities. There are some good trends with the yen pairs, possibly with that dollar weakness this coming week. The indices, I would take it one at a time and just see if we start to see a bit more sideways motion or a little bit of downside correction with regards to, say, the S&P and the NASDAQ. And again, with regards to crude oil, I expect that to continue lower. It's very difficult to trade because it's very noisy. And finally, with gold and silver, they still retain their bullishness for now and cautiously bullish with that. Bitcoin as well, I expect that to possibly head lower. Thank you very much.